Hello, hello, hello. Today, oh dear, indecision. I, I, I have a weakness with not being able to make decisions. I struggle and struggle and struggle, and I write everything down and this and that, and at the end of the day, I still don't know what to do. I've got my cards, I've got my runes, I've got my I Ching, I've got everything, and I haven't got anyone to talk to, which is perhaps a good idea because it could only confuse things. But I have had a very, very big decision to work out of late. It's nothing I can really talk about, it's a cosmic thing, but it's been going on for 3 or 4 years, and I have to make a decision about what to do about it. I suppose deep down I know what to do about it, but then I think I try to justify myself. I get a feeling and then I justify it. There's something I think I've got Libra. Libras are known to be very indecisive. I've got something in my birth chart. It's the most difficult thing for me to make a decision. It really is. I think because I can see both sides of the question. I can see both sides, and it's deciding which side is the best thing for me. And of course the theory is there's no such thing as a bad decision, but it isn't the point. You still have to make it, and it's like jumping off a bridge for me. It really is. To make a decision is just like jumping off a bridge. And I've lately been, I've you ask a question, I don't get answers in my head. I don't know about anybody else. Oh, my guides tell me this, my guides tell me that. I don't have that. I don't have that luxury. I have to sort of somehow, maybe in this lifetime it's my challenge to do things on my own without any advice, without any consultation. And of course maybe I do get it in a quiet sort of way, because I do get little messages come through books or sometimes on the screen, but I don't get them in my head, like words, which is very frustrating. So I still haven't quite worked out how to do it, but of late I'm becoming a little bit clearer, because I've had these two, one was about my daughter and other things of course, and this particular one which is causing me, it's very, very stressful because you worry about it day and night. I don't sleep at night thinking, shall I, shan't I, if and there's a break it, da. I make lists out, I do everything I possibly can, and I still can't decide what to do. But and I ask, please tell me, please help me, please. And of course, as I say, there is no wrong or right decision. At the end of the day, I suppose it's up to me individually to decide what to do, because it won't really matter. Someone did tell me many years ago, actually, that I have to take the action, even if the decision involves humanity karmically. I have to take the action, and this is my problem. I find it very, 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 very hard to take action. I'd rather sit on the fence and let's wait and see. And of course, the less you're not at work, you're in the world doing things. I think when I was working and out in the world, I could make a decision much more easily. But sitting at home here, what is there to decide about? Shall we have a cup of tea or not? And it is getting to that stage. What I think is probably a sign of depression, I don't know. But my decision making is getting much worse, and I sit down, I even go back to bed to escape making a decision. I thought, this has got to stop. It really has. So I came to the conclusion of late, and it has been developing into something quite more positive, to listen to my intuition. I think I did a video on intuition, didn't I, and feelings, and I don't think it went down very well actually, my last one on emotion, which is a very good video, I thought. At the end of the day, you can't do it in your head. I think there has to be a time when you've done all you can mentally. You've made your list out, you've done this, you've done that, you've done your research, whatever you have to do. But at the end of the day, it's what you feel, isn't it? And I think the feeling is the intuition. I think I mentioned it the other day as well, didn't I? The intuition is the bridge to consciousness. And I think that's where a lot of us are at. And it's not, we're sort of moving away from the mental concepts, although we need them of course, but into a deeper understanding, a deeper feeling of what is right for me. What is right? I don't know. I don't know. And nobody else does. You can ask all the people in the world and everyone would have a different idea. I've got my crystals. Honestly, you have no idea. And I thought, well, this last couple of times, this particular time I'm talking about now, I just I had to listen. I thought, let's listen to that small voice, because that is the truth, isn't it? The truth of our true selves. And I found that that does seem to help. I think somebody, one of the masters, said to me many years ago, you have to listen, which is the stronger, which is the stronger feeling. I think I've mentioned this as well. And if the feeling gets stronger and stronger, that's the one to listen to. But it takes a bit of a time, of course. If you've got to make a quick decision, like which train to catch, you don't have that luxury. So it is a question of listening to the deep, still voice within, which will direct you to the right decision for you. And it's hard to trust that, because I'm very mentally oriented and I tend to argue with it. I do get a feeling and I think, yes, but, and I start to argue with it. I think this is ridiculous. I'm asking for help and for an answer, and then I'm arguing about it. So, and I think also what's coming to me now is the difficulty of trusting that, because was it Joshua said, not my will but thy will? I struggle with that, because some teachings say that God's will is our will, but I also know that you have to be very in tune with the God within to know the will. Because the will is somehow involved in kind of, if you're learning something, you have to go along with it, even though you think it's wrong. I hope I'm not confusing you. It's been very difficult of late trying to get this right, but I think I'm getting there slowly. And it is a question of trusting the initial thought, the initial feeling, and not to argue with it. Just sit with it for a while. And but actually, Buddha, there was a little story about that Buddha the other day. Was out with his friends and he was walking by a river. He was very thirsty and wanted a drink, and the river was full of animals and people doing their washing, and it was a right mess. And his friend said, do you think that's wise? And he said, Buddha said, let's sit under the tree for a while and just see if it clears. And I think there's a good moral in that story, and I found that helps. If I get into a real mental state about this indecision thing, let's just sit quietly, have a cup of tea, do something else, and let it all settle for a bit. Because the more you go around in circles, the worse it gets. But I say, I have found that to listen to the first feeling, see if it gets any stronger, and if it does, it's the one to listen to. And to remember there's no real good or bad about this, but it depends also, I think, on your temperament. And I think for me it feels, I just don't want to upset anybody. You know, sometimes the decisions involve people, don't they? And I think with my daughter particularly, I don't want to upset anything. I want status quo. I want peace. I want tranquility and harmony. And all of my life I fought for that, which is silly because you shouldn't have to fight for peace. But I think it's probably an avoidance syndrome. I don't know. I've tended to tell myself I don't want to hurt anybody, but of course ultimately you do, because you may have to make a decision. It's called tough love, isn't it? You may have to make a decision in order not to hurt somebody. So it is difficult, but ultimately, gosh, what time is it? I'm rabbiting on again. 8 minutes. Ultimately, my feeling is to do all the research, do all the mental stuff, work out this, work out that, make a list, and at the end of the day, which is the one that feels the strongest, and listen to the inner promptings really, and to the intuition, because the intuition is the only thing you can really rely upon, because that comes from the heart, and the heart is the truth. And I think, you know, we're being guided in so many ways these days, not necessarily from this great revelations and banging of drums and spinning of stars, but we're getting very quietly within. And you can listen all you like to other stuff externally, but I think this is a driving force that's causing us to go within to find out the truth for us. Oh, that was quite inspired. I think on that point I should leave it for now, because I'm probably going to get everything very confused. So anyway, dear ones, I hope your day is going well. Mine isn't, as you can tell. There's always a struggle of some sort, isn't there? I mean, we're into the eclipse season apparently. But I was watching a channel the other day called Chiron, Kyron. He is extremely good, extremely clear, and extremely high consciousness. And he said that this is the year of revelation. So we are looking forward to lots of secrets emerging, lots of truths being told, particularly about ourselves. And this keeps coming to me, this it's just like sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do. This is my message, I guess, for today, because I have found this extremely difficult with my daughter. You may have seen the video, but this decision at the moment I don't want to have to make, but I do have to make it one way, and I know the way I have to go, but ultimately I feel I don't want to hurt anybody, and I don't want to put myself through anguish, but it seems that the harder the decision, and if it's so far away from your truth, well, not your truth, if it's so far away what you think is your truth, it's often the right one. Because I think the harder the decision, it's somehow moving us away from our preconceived concepts. I'm sorry that's so complicated, but that's what I had to say. It's just that it's not easy. It's not easy because we're being moved away from our preconceived ideas into new ways of thinking. That's what it is. We're being moved away into new ways of thinking which come from a different place, and it is such a conflict, is it a battle? But trust it, and trust the first feeling you get, and listen to the thoughts that come, because they're thoughts of the heart really, and which gets the stronger, and that's surely the one to take hold of. Anyway, I shall listen to this again and probably want to delete it, I don't know. Oh, take care anyway, every way you're going. God bless for now. Bye bye.